Is it weird I'm not wearing a vest today?
Yeah.
What's up with that, right? Well, so I don't know if you follow being basketball, but yesterday the Oregon Ducks won first round of the March Madness against the Gamecocks. Ducks versus Cocks. Ducks on top. The Oregon Ducks versus the South Carolina Gamecocks, and the Ducks won March Madness yesterday, round one. The Ducks beat Cocks.
Cool.
And it's exciting.
When's round two?
Saturday, tomorrow.
Who they play?
I don't know. I think it depends on who won that bracket yesterday, and I didn't see who won that one. So
Was that Houston Orange and Blue team played yesterday?
I know Boise State played yesterday. I believe they're orange and blue, but I don't know. But there's a bunch of teams that played. So
Okay.
All right, we're gonna start.
intro.
Hey guys, we're here on episode 20 of Hold My Wine podcast with our special guest.
Sergeant First Class Charles Parker.
That's a first class guy.
Yeah.
First class. So what is that in Army terms?
7.
E7. All right. That's for it's senior master sergeant in Air Force terms. So I don't know all the Army terms. I was past the Army Air Corps era. So 1947.
Okay.
Yeah, most people don't know that the Air Force originated from the Army.
Yeah, Army Air Corps, and then September 18th, 1947, Air Force became its own thing from the Army Air Corps and became the United States Air Force. Mm-hmm. FYI.
Interesting. Good history lesson.
Thanks. And also, we should bring up the fact that we're just not going to ignore Allie. Allie can't talk today, so she's gonna be a sideline cheerleader.
Supporting.
Yes.
She's gonna have.
Thank you for being here,
a
Allie.
blackboard
Thanks,
on.
Allie.
Oh, it's right there. I forgot
cut.
to do anything. All
I love it.
And Allie has a chalkboard. Oh yeah, there you
Let's
go.
see it. Hello.
Hello. Cool. So where were we? Oh yeah.
So what do you do?
Sergeant First Class Charles Parker. Charlie Parker. You ever go by Charlie?
No.
Okay.
No.
Chuck?
My son goes by Charlie. Nope, that's my dad.
Did you say Chuck?
Is your son the third?
I'll have different
Middle names? Okay.
Okay.
Missed
And
out.
actually, my grandfather is also Charles.
Okay, so
We all got different middle names.
but so you didn't want to go with the first, second, third generation. Didn't want to go generational with it, like
Interesting.
regal.
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, what do you do? Where are you from?
What do I do? So I recruit for the National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon National Guard, right?
Oregon Army National.
Yeah, Oregon Army
Air
National
National Guard,
right.
because that's different.
A and G.
The Army National Guard. So my job is to assist those that have an interest in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Without wanting to go too far.
Even in any branch. Answer all their questions, walk them through the process of enlistment, mentor them until they ship to training.
Nice.
How long have you been doing that?
5 years.
5 years. Okay. Do you enjoy it?
I do. Enjoy it. Aspects of it.
What was the struggle like during COVID for that? Like, were numbers super down or super up because people had to get out of their house?
They've been down since COVID.
Okay.
Oh.
And then during COVID, like nobody wanted to meet in person. They wanted to Zoom or talk on the phone.
Right.
And unfortunately, you got to do like the paperwork in person.
Mm-hmm.
So people were very
No oath Zooms. No. Yeah, you got to do so much stuff in person.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I don't have flat feet. That kind of thing.
What signatures?
Yeah.
And just make it your own.
For now.
Yeah.
For us, like we probably have a lot more listeners.
What did you do before?
So I was a temp tech for the Guard. So we have different like full-time positions. So one is you can be full-time Guard members. So it's called AGR, Active Guard Reserve. And that's where you get all the benefits back to duty, but you're still here in order.
You're for the state, but it actually comes from a federal pot for your pay, I believe,
No.
right? No?
It's state pot.
Oh, so okay. So what
Then
title? What title is
32.
32.
Then the technician side is going paper test.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I did get into the National Guard.
The testing.
Oh yeah, testing.
You got to take a paper test.
Like a written.
No, it's so
It's like really?
we don't do paper anymore.
Oh,
it is.
So as you talking about like an ASVAB?
Yeah.
Oh, an ASVAB. Oh, we did that in high school.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Okay.
then you also have technicians, which are federal employees.
Yep.
And they're hourly.
Yep.
And they're union, so they get different benefits, and it's Monday through Friday, like 8 to 5 kind of
Right.
job.
And then 2 weeks a year
No.
on
Some of them are you have to be in the guard to hold that position,
right.
and others are.
But even as a
civilian.
technician, you still have to do your
Some of them are
active duty.
civilian.
Okay, but
technician
they're
jobs.
civilian technician jobs.
Yeah.
All right, so that
So
they
we're-
come in plain clothes.
What's the most challenging part of your job right now?
Recruiting,
qualified.
recruiting qualified people,
Yeah.
right?
Really, like the ASVAB is a struggle. Well, in the physical
And that's
too.
for the Army, so their standards are super low.
No, Navy's got the lowest.
Well, I did say the lowest.
So we have Army, whether it's Guard, Reserve, or active, and the Marine Corps have the same standard.
Right, but
ASVAB.
you can use black or blue ink when you fill out the paper, but the
It's on the-
Marines have to do it by crayon, right?
No, they different.
Oh, that's right. You got to
Can't
stop
give
giving
them
them the
crayons.
crayons. They kept eating them.
Yeah.
Sure. The Marines that watch it, they'll know what we're talking about for sure.
Did you want to be a recruiter, or how did you come to be in this position?
So I applied for. So we have 2 different types of full-time positions in order. What we
Okay.
call traditional AGR slots and then recruiter.
Mhm.
So traditional AGR, they are directly supporting a unit that drills on the weekend. So their Monday through Friday job is creating training schedules, planning training, paperwork for the soldiers, and that kind of thing. And then they drill with the soldiers on the 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year.
Okay.
Then you have recruiters
Mhm.
that are their own like entity. We don't have
Right.
Monday through Friday.
Hmm.
We make our own hours.
Okay.
We're almost like independent business owners.
You-
We
Okay.
make our own hours. We're in charge of our own marketing. We're in charge of events, planning everything, all of it.
And you can't slack on it because you're also judged by your numbers, right? Your
Right, we
recruiting
get a number
numbers.
every year, yeah.
And it's probably, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it's got to be based like at a national scale, right? Like if your
That's
numbers
what
are
it's-
super low during post-pandemic, it's, well, how's that compared to across the country?
No,
Super low,
so
right?
They do it by state size.
Okay, but even then, there's
Yes.
recruiters all over the state.
Small, medium, and large states.
Like if you've got super low, everybody else should be super low as well. It's not like
no,
you're going to get
they
dinged
really
because
didn't
you
take- They
can.
really didn't take COVID into account. What they do is they do it based on
Well, that sucks.
National Guard Bureau.
Yeah.
So NGB says your state's this size, these vacancies, these are the amount of enlistments that we expect you to have.
Right.
Then the command team,
Regardless.
Then the command team comes in and says, based on your population demographic
Right.
in your area, this is your number per year. So some are 9s, some are 10s, some are 12s, some are 14s.
Yeah.
Depending on how many people you have in that general area.
And is that
Really-
for like a gross or net? So like this is the amount of people I got recruited in. This is the actual people that actually made it through.
No, it's people that get in.
Okay. So the
So we
more
don't
like the
get
net.
dinged on people that go to training and don't pass
But
it.
you got them
Oh.
to training.
Because our job is just to get them to
Right.
training.
They
After
qualified.
After
They
that,
made it
then
there. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. If they can't pass basic training, it's like, well, I got them
But
there.
it's very rare. It's very rare that they don't pass.
Yeah. 8 weeks?
10.
Still? 10? Was it 8 weeks before? It was always 10?
Air Force and Navy, I think, are 8 weeks. And then the
I
Marine
feel like,
Corps is 13.
I feel like it was a while ago, but I feel like mine was 6.
Very well could
I
have been.
mean, that was in the 90s.
Blessed.
Heck yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, the challenges again are
Qualified. Isn't
not
it?
being able to pass the SVAB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even people that
You
are
passed, right?
currently in high
You
school
passed,
as
right?
junior or seniors
I did.
You passed your ASVAB?
are
the
not
paper test?
scoring at minimum score.
What do you think is the cause for that? Have scores like consistently? What do you think
I took
that?
it.
Yeah.
It's a
Why?
school system.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're being passed along by grade as long as they're meeting the minimum criteria attendance.
Well, I think
training
even
work,
if they're not,
and that kind of stuff.
I think
So
they still
then
get passed
you're
on, don't
producing
they?
Individuals that cannot do basic
Right.
Right. Yeah. And
or
it,
English.
Okay.
Or
and it's like
that.
taking a
So-
state testing. It's
and
kind of
then
like,
it seems like there's not a
here's
lot
the
of
thing.
individuals that are hands-on anymore.
yeah.
Because it's like you and I grew up. I'm sure I helped my parents work on cars. Like
Yeah.
I helped do.
My dad
stuff
owned his
around the
own
house.
construction
Like, yeah,
company,
you
which
learn those
is
things.
why I
And
built all the stuff in this park.
people aren't doing that. This
Well-
generation are not doing that anymore.
Right. And that I wouldn't put that necessarily that's not on the school system at that point.
Right.
That's on parents.
So that's just
Yeah.
an additional thing because part of the ASVAB is like identify this tool or identify this part.
Yeah.
So people don't know what those things are.
So if
A
someone,
screwdriver.
if say a parent or a student comes to you and says, I'm really interested, but I'm struggling
Don't
in
know what a
school,
screwdriver looks like?
are there
Oh,
programs
man.
that can help a student be a bit more successful, like maybe a tutor or mentorship program?
That's on us as recruiters.
Really?
We want to take that job on.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If they're struggling bad enough, there is a program called OYCP, or the
Mhm.
Youth Challenge Program. And essentially it is like a boot camp that students go to in the summertime. The PT, it's very regimented. They go to class, they help tutor them and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it will allow them to get the credits they need to graduate.
Hmm.
That's only for if you're behind in
OYCP.
credits. I can't just send my kid there
Yeah.
just for fun. Like, this is what you're doing
You
this
have
summer?
to justify it. There's like an application
Yeah.
process. We've been
All right.
through the reasoning why.
Nate's wheels are turning.
Justification for it.
I know. I was like, all
But
right.
we do have a program if you're a senior, as long as you pass high school and you score, I believe it's over a 20 on the ASVAB. Because 31 is minimum score
Okay.
without any additional paperwork or testing or anything. Programs where you can go to a training, and this is pre-basic training, where they will tutor you
Mhm.
past the ASVAB.
Okay.
So you enlist, you go to this training, they tutor you once you
Okay.
pass the ASVAB and select a job, then you go to basic, and then you go to job central.
Okay.
During the time of that tutor session, you're still on full-time orders, you're still full-time pay, you're still full-time benefits. So there is that program that can help.
Yeah. Right. Have you been Oregon National Guard your entire career?
Yes.
Okay.
15 years.
15 years. So you from Salem?
No.
Where are you from?
Sheridan.
Sheridan? Okay. You got a nice little federal penitentiary out there. I'm familiar with its work. And then you grew up in Sheridan. You grew up in Sheridan then too?
Yep.
And then you joined from Sheridan to the Oregon National Guard?
I did. So in 2008, 25, I worked out in Willamette at the lumber mill.
All
I had
right.
like four real occupations growing up in Sheridan. Either logging, working at the mill, working at the prison, or working at the casino.
There's the one.
There you go.
Ah, yeah.
Growing up working with my hands, and then the mill pays a lot better, consistent hours, things. Well, when the economy tanked, because
I don't know,
it's
that
all
prison,
production-based,
federal job, that pays pretty good too.
we
Good
they
bennies,
cut
too.
69 employees in 1 month,
Oh, wow.
and they were talking about a second cut. Well, because of
Giggity.
time at the mill, I was going to be on the next cut.
All
I
right.
started trying to explore options of.
Well, that's nice of them to let you know that though. Like you're on the next cut. Like instead of like, hey, by the way, you were cut yesterday.
Because it's by seniority.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we dropped these 69 people, and then you know what number you are on seniority, and so
Right.
you're like, well, if there's another one, it's probably gonna
You're like,
be
who's retiring? I'm going to get further up.
me. And so I didn't go to college after high school.
Mm-hmm.
Into working at the mill. Like, oh, I gotta explore options.
Hell yeah. That's a great
And then
military's a
that was
great
my first
option.
Introduction to the processing into a branch.
Yeah.
And the restrictions and standards.
Right. And you've been in AGR for 5 years?
5 years.
So how does that affect your overall military retirement then? Being AGR for 5 years and you were a federal technician before that then? Or you were a
So-
guardsman?
A guardsman.
Okay.
So both.
Okay.
Um,
We'll talk about real estate later so you understand what we're saying.
being an AGR, it's the same to
you
retirement
wanna-
as if I was
I'm going to read
an
some.
Army soldier stationed in like Fort Bragg.
I'm going to
Right.
just.
So the same retirement pay, same retirement benefits. If I do 20 years active in the guard,
Right.
I will get a retirement right then. Obviously.
Yeah.
But if you're M day or part time, then your 20-year retirement is essentially like half,
Right.
and then they'll take.
And it goes up if you on deployments, right? Because you go on a different title and
So what they
everything.
do is they take 65, they minus however many active years you have from 65,
Mhm.
and then that's when you can draw retirement.
All right.
So you don't have to wait till 65. You could draw it earlier without any penalties, but
Yeah.
you're still only getting like part-time retirement.
Right. Which is a lot of people will try from that position and get like another federal job or something like a
Mhm.
post office
Yeah.
or stay at the same base as a civilian.
Or a temp tech, yeah.
Yeah.
They get in that.
Yeah. And then they can double dip
Mhm.
into the retirement, which
Whereas
is nice.
even guard-wise, if I'm active and I do 20 years, I draw retirement right away.
Right.
So
Which is what
I
I'm
don't have
doing.
to wait till 65.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Retired for 6 years now. All right.
Right.
which allows me to open up a wine bar
Yes.
and not collect a paycheck from the wine bar. Someday.
You're getting there. You're
Someday.
doing great.
We'll host, as long as we keep hosting big events like a Haven Rose soft opening, which we just had, which was amazing.
Amazing.
There was
Everyone
a lot
who
of people.
came out, thank you so much. You made it a really special evening for us.
Also, thank you, Para Wine Company, which we're drinking Para wine today. We got the Tempranillo, Chardonnay, the Sparkling Gewürztraminer. Sampara donated some wine for that event yesterday.
Thank you, Sam.
And he was at the Chamber of Commerce greeters this morning. We're really fortunate to have him help out and part of the community. So that's super cool. And he will be on the podcast coming up.
He will be. Yay.
What's that? He'll be on the podcast. You write it down. Write it down, Marge Simpson.
Text me.
text Katie from
We're
right there.
communicating right
Like,
now.
hey, can you say this? Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So you're in this position now. Where
Sitting
would you like to
position.
see yourself?
Not in this position.
Well, right, but
More missionary.
Really, anywhere. I mean, that would be better.
There's so many.
No,
options.
I would like to
So many
transition
positions.
into either operations side of recruiting or the traditional side.
Yeah. So do you have a retirement date?
No.
Yeah. I mean,
I still have like 12 years of that.
12 years. Okay. So based off of transition to a different kind of job with that would you're trying to stay AGR, right?
Yes.
Obviously, you're going to stay AGR.
Yeah, if I stay AGR,
You don't leave that position.
transfer
BAH.
into,
You don't leave that position.
transfer into a traditional or an operations position, I still get same pay,
Right.
BAH, all that stuff.
But you'll
I
be
just
able
won't
to-
have the mission portion,
Right.
And then it'll be more Monday through Friday.
And as a
8 to
pay
5.
grade E7, would those positions allow you to go
Advance
from there, advance up? Because right now is E7 the highest for recruiting around here, or can you?
No, so as a street recruiter, yes.
Okay,
So E7 is,
and that's what you are as a street recruiter.
Mhm.
Okay, you're on the
Then the
streets.
next
You're on the
position-
streets of Salem, the hard streets of Salem.
And the next position is a detachment chief.
Okay,
So recruiting is not a typical structure of units
right.
because you have
But they have X numbers with X
You have
numbers
all
of
your
an
recruiters,
E8 above
and then
that.
you have a boss, and that's an E8 job.
And does the E9 like
Mhm.
at the state level sits up
He's
and like
different.
monitors everything? Like
No, because we have our own E9.
okay,
We do have a sergeant major E9, and then we also have a commander
all right.
for recruiting.
What's
So that's
that?
a colonel.
Okay, Colonel 06, or are they, or is it a light Colonel? Yeah. Okay.
so when you were talking about operational, because I think you've told me this before, that there's a position where after they're recruited, there's the processing, right?
Yeah,
And that's kind of the position you would like to get into. Is that
Well,
right?
Like up in Portland type processing or
no, it's
and MEPS?
they do have those. So
Yeah.
the guidance counselor positions are E7 positions, and you could stay up there. I mean, you can only hit E7, but you could stay up there really as long as you want to.
Nice.
Operations and recruiting, they will handle either recruit sustainment program, which is where they take care of the paperwork for the soldiers that have enlisted and then also come back from training. Or there is the operations side to where they are supporting us as recruiters. So all of our
Okay.
paperwork, all of our certifications, anything that we need done, payroll, all that stuff, they take care of all that stuff.
Okay.
And that's part of that like traditional side to where traditional AGRs support the unit members in that aspect.
Yeah.
Our operations does that for us.
Nice.
Or pushing.
It's a hierarchy.
orders if we need- Yeah.
It's almost like a military hierarchy.
Okay.
I can see that.
So is that what
That
you'd
would
like
be
to get into?
Right.
Yeah.
Because you get to move up, you get to gain rank, you get to gain rank, you get to higher
Really,
pay
you
grade.
stay at 7. You'll stay at 7 on operations
Yeah.
because there's no dead cheap positions
Well,
in operations.
And if you're looking at
Started
it
with
12 years ahead, I mean, I'm going
Maybe
to
need them for 12
assume
10
that-
years.
that you'd want to hit the E9 portion before retirement too. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't,
Yeah,
right?
right.
It's like I'd love to hit.
Retirement's always right?
Love to hit 06, but it's not
Yeah.
going to happen. You know?
And with you being in the military, you've been on deployment, right? How many deployments have you been on?
I went on 2.
2.
Oh, where'd you go?
I went to Iraq. So I
Was it a
went
FOB or
they're all FOBs.
in Iraq?
Pretty much.
Okay.
What?
pretty
Okay.
much.
For those of us that don't know what FOB means.
It's a forward operating base. So you have a main base.
Really, that can be anything.
Well, like, so if you're in Afghanistan, Bagram Air Base there is not a FOB,
Yeah.
but they'll have FOB like a little forward
Okay.
operating base away from from there.
Explain it again. FOB is
so a
what?
FOB, forward operating base. So basically they'll set up like smaller bases away from a main base. So say this is so they're going to say this is your base. So
Okay.
in Afghanistan you have Bagram Air Base, and so Marines are
That's where
there,
you live, that's where
Air
you
Force
sleep,
there,
that's where you eat, that's where you
and then
do
they'll set
stuff.
up
Okay.
a base that's like another 100 miles away,
Okay.
and that's a forward operating base. So they'll have like a smaller contingent style base. My sister-in-law,
Okay.
she was in the
Like a
Army as
satellite
cook.
base kind
So
of.
it's a satellite
Okay.
base is what it is.
Okay.
And so they'll have FOBs, and then you'll have your main base that you come from.
Okay.
But
Got
so you're in Iraq, basically at
Yeah, big base.
a big base.
Yeah.
So, but it was still considered a FOB.
No.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So when you guys
What was
quick,
the name of the base?
quick, I'm going to interrupt for just a second.
No. What?
When you guys get going on your military talk, just dumb it down for us.
Oh, okay.
We are.
No, I am. I am.
I know.
I'm trying to.
No,
I'm trying to
I
do
know,
Army
but
talk.
you're like,
I can't
oh,
get any
FOB,
dumber
FOB.
except for if I bring out the crayons for the
I
Marines.
don't know what FOB base means. I don't know what that
Yeah,
stuff like
that's
that.
right. We talk in acronyms.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's
Army
a
loves
thing.
acronyms.
Yeah, the military loves acronyms.
Yeah.
But yeah, forward operating base. So what was the name of the base in Iraq?
Alice Air Base.
Okay.
Yeah. Like when you guys say FOB, I'm like, oh,
FOB.
key
A
fob.
FOB. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
my key thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
True.
sense.
No, it was a big base.
Dig it. And then what was
Okay.
the other place? You said you went to 2.
Afghanistan, Kabul.
Oh, to a couple. All right. Groovy.
New Kabul compound.
How long were you gone for each one?
So deployments are usually 12 months.
Yeah, I was going to
What
say
you
for Army,
have-
it's like a year.
Okay.
For the Guard, you have 2 months of training up because we only do our stuff part time.
Okay.
So it takes 2 months of training up to Army standard, and we're evaluated by active duty individuals to make sure that we are operating and performing how we should. And then we go overseas for 9 months.
What is that?
So it's like you're having a
Consist of, like-
full-time Army person, like,
It depends
and we
on
do
the
this
mission.
full-time. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're doing convoy security stuff, then they're going to evaluate you based on the Army doctrine on how you should be performing that.
Okay. So it's like
'Cause
kind of a checklist.
Right, and you've got
This is-
different
yeah.
jobs. So like the doctor goes in, it's like, all right, are you qualified to do this? And if you come under attack, what are your steps? Gas, like all the
Okay.
things that you have to do. But because they're part-timers, they're not necessarily doing all this training and doing all this stuff all the time. So a person that's going to be there, if they're going to be taking over for you, or if they're going to basically cover your ass, if you need somebody to cover your ass too, you want to make sure that they're fully qualified and trained.
Yeah.
Because
of course.
as every single guard unit's going to be like strolling through there across the country, right? So Oregon Guard, cream of the crop. You don't know if Tennessee Guard is coming in behind them is be like, we got this, just keep going, it's fine, it's fine. Ooh, it's hot here, So you don't know, like it's got to be like a strict, a uniform process
Yeah,
across the
sure.
board. You should be able to take somebody out, put somebody in, and not lose a
Okay.
beat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Lots of beats are
Right.
lost, but you should not
Yeah.
lose a beat.
And then usually you get 2 weeks of leave. And then there's a 2-week coming back to country, like downgrade process where we turn in equipment that we had to drop for those deployments, make sure our paperwork's still good, all that kind of stuff before we actually come out. So it's 12 months total.
Okay.
Lots of logistics.
So in each deployment, what's been your most memorable thing that you've experienced or seen or
Good or bad?
regardless?
Really
just-
being outside the country.
yeah. It's how different it
Seeing
is.
firsthand how individuals live in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
Because, like in Iraq, near Baghdad, they have roadways that are similar to ours.
Okay.
Yep.
4-lane roads, sidewalks on both sides, and they have like extra wide sidewalks. Little like red lights that are near the curb, or where the curb meets the road.
For pedestrians or for
like
Yeah.
marker lights.
And you
You're
can't just
driving.
assume like you
Yeah.
go to a place like, oh, it's a third world country. Like, no, you go to a major
Yeah.
city like that, it's a major
And
city.
then they had like pedestrian crosswalk bridges. And you cross over the freeway.
oh, like Vegas.
Yeah, it's great. Like,
Yeah.
it's a great
Baghdad is
architecture.
like Vegas.
But then you also see it used to be great, and then you see what happens when a war happens to a country because there's
Right.
Constantine
Oh,
wire all over that stuff.
Well, and
Wait, there's what?
places get
Constantine wire, so it's the razor wire.
razor
Oh,
wire goes
oh,
in.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
all wrapped
Conical.
close so that people
Ooh.
can't cross it.
Wow. Okay.
And then like there was a 4-story mall.
bombed out.
Holes, bombs.
Well,
Wow.
well, and I mean, because
Lots of
we did that.
T-walls, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, but
because
it's
you
probably
think about
still like,
during the invasion of
crazy to
Iraq and Baghdad,
see.
you'd watch the news and you just see all that
But
stuff
they
going
don't
on.
see that stuff. I got to see Saddam's palace that he built.
Really?
Well, he had it built.
He had it
He
built.
did not do that.
Oh, he didn't build it
He didn't
himself
build
with his own
himself.
two
Trust
hands.
me,
Okay.
that
Wow.
guy did
Okay.
not. He probably had a family
So
contractor.
the history on it. Let's do the tour of it. Like he rerouted all the water from Baghdad for 3 days to create the man-made lake that surrounded the palace.
Jesus.
So
Wow.
just being able to see firsthand how
Oh,
countries
yeah.
are, what has happened in those countries, like what I've seen on TV or what somebody's told me.
Right.
Yeah.
The mountains in
So
Afghanistan. are
your
beautiful.
experience with, say, like civilians there, what was that like? Have
Did you have much
contact
interaction with
them?
the
Not much
Iraqi
in
civilians or
Iraq.
TCNs?
No,
Okay.
not much.
Oh,
in
sorry.
Iraq.
Third country nationals, TCNs, by the way, Katie. If I'm throwing
but in
acronyms out
Afghanistan,
at
they got a
What-
lot more
what's that? Sorry.
interaction.
you. You asked
Come
me to
again?
tell you what an acronym
Well,
is.
yes, I know, and I wasn't paying attention.
It costs money to pay attention. The TCN. So in different countries, when you deploy out to different places, my experience, a lot of it with in Saudi Arabia, they'll have TCNs, which are third country nationals, and basically they're like contracted workers
So you did have
from
those.
other countries come in. I get a lot of
So, like-
Pakistanis,
Oh.
things like that.
We had people that would do interior gate security for different buildings
Mm-hmm.
that were from Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and they were contracted employees for that base. The cooks were not Iraqi; they were from somewhere else. They
Oh.
were contracted in. Some of the truck drivers too were contracted truck drivers to drive these vehicles with containers to
Okay.
and from bases.
Okay.
In Afghanistan, because of where we were based at, downtown Kabul, there was a big traffic circle. It's 4-lane roads.
Mhm.
Police officers standing in the middle, like directing traffic.
Really?
And our base was right on the corner.
Oh, if you look at pictures of Afghanistan before the Taliban like took over Afghanistan,
Yeah.
it was a metropolitan area. There's
They
like
were working
They were-
on high-rise
there was
construction.
universities where
Yeah.
where
yeah.
women could go to school. It's a nice looking picture. And then Taliban kind of came over and like they were like, no, this is
Ain't
not
no
how it's
mo.
supposed to be.
Wow.
Iraq, we did convoy security,
Excuse
and
me.
then in Afghanistan, we did base security on our base, and then we also did personal security detail. So
Okay.
bodyguards for those that were having meetings with
Hell yeah.
higher up.
Sorry.
Higher up.
This is
Afghan
holding my
leaders.
wine.
So like
Okay.
I would do routine trips to Ministry of Defense compound,
Okay.
and that is like our Pentagon but for Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So
All right.
in that we would do we would be the security detail for people that were doing meetings, or we would be a quick reaction force. So a handful of us would be in a room on that compound before everybody else showed up for the day. They would check in with us so we didn't know how many people were on site.
Mm-hmm.
So if something happens, we were there right away. And
Okay.
then we would leave like when everybody else left for the end of the day.
Wow.
It's fun. And
Quite
you
the
get,
experience.
get-
I can only
and you
imagine.
get paid extra pay,
And you get to eat
hazardous duty pay.
Oh, I was just
the
going to
naan
ask you
bread.
about the food.
The naan.
I bet that's so
the
good.
naan I had in Turkey.
So-
that's a country,
so
not a bird. It's both.
Yeah.
But
It is
the naan,
both.
you can't get
Yeah.
naan bread on a bird.
Well, I mean, you could.
Yeah, but it's not as good
You could get it on.
on
A
the
bird.
bird.
on the
Yeah.
bird.
Yeah. Give that non-bread the bird. But non-bread,
Non the bird.
you know what non-bread is, right?
Yeah,
Well, sorry. Before we get hate mail, before we get hate mail about this,
Not an acronym.
non means bread.
Yeah.
So technically,
Yes,
when you say non-bread, it means
It's
bread.
bread.
That's
Yeah.
because it's really good.
It's so good. It's bread so nice they named it twice.
So they
Oh, I like
There's
that.
different types of naan. So you have almost like the commercial stuff. that is
Flatbread.
usually very round.
Right.
Even though
Pita-esque.
They sell it in like bags. Or you get the stuff that looks like a giant elephant ear. But it's all the
Delicious.
sugar
Ooh,
stuff.
yeah.
It's actually like homemade.
Oh
fresh.
yeah. So I love making naan. I'm just gonna say naan. I love making naan because you use like some nice you can get some Greek yogurt mixed in with there,
Okay.
and you cook it out flat on a flat skillet or whatever. You just flip it over. It's so good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. You
So then
garlic and butter and
Oh, I want to
Our
try
base
that. So, love the military talk. I think
Yeah.
it's great. On a little bit more of a personal note, what do you,
Are you
like to
circumcised?
do?
oh
You
wait.
Answer that.
Okay. Oh well.
Save that for another. Give me a couple more glasses.
I didn't know how personal she wanted to get. Get this guy some mead.
Yeah, you should have had some meat.
Well, I was about to offer some, and he did go with a whatever, which is probably Is it probably a good idea with the timber
It's
or
yummy,
Tempranillo,
isn't it?
from
It
Providence?
is really good.
But if it was mead, that would have already been gone.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
it is forcing him to slow
I
down
make
a
sure he
little bit.
paces himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a forced pace. Because if it was mead, the bottle would have been gone already. I've seen him drink the mead. It is so good. Honeywood, Oregon's oldest winery.
Oh, I didn't know it was oldest.
It's the
Interesting.
oldest winery.
So what, like, on a personal note, like, what are your goals personally?
I want to travel, and I want to get a
You should
bachelor's.
join the Air Force. You travel.
You want to
all the
what?
time.
Get a bachelor's degree, but I don't want to travel
Okay.
to the military.
Oh, okay. Wait,
Yeah.
once you retire, though,
Because we
Space
did
A.
a training event. So usually it's 2 weeks training. Your 14 days. It's in the summer.
right?
Well, there's an event called Cobra Gold, and it's in Thailand.
Yeah,
So you train with Thai soldiers, and you train them on how we operate as U.S.
H-60s go out there, don't they? For that?
Different artillery.
Yeah,
I think the Air Force comes out there too.
I think we send our
Oh,
H-60s out there for like search and rescue events.
And then we go out there as infantry soldiers and teach them. So that's 22 days in Thailand.
Yeah,
And then it ends on a culminating live fire event with us, Thai soldiers, air support, and cannon support. And we assault an objective.
yeah.
That was one of the.
Does Army do Red Flag? You know, have you ever heard of Red Flag? It's a Vegas event that they do every year.
Active duty may.
Yeah,
But I don't think
Air Force. I know Air Force does it. It might just be an Air Force thing, but it's like a search and rescue event that they do in Vegas every year. But
No, but I want to get a degree.
Yeah.
I did use some of the college benefits we have.
you get free college whilst you're on
Being a
Aid-
service member.
being a service member, like while you're in without having to touch a GI Bill, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
We state tuition that covers 100% of tuition.
All the
Any college, any university that's public in order.
all right.
Whether
So-
it's online or in person.
That's really good that you're touching on the benefits because it's the education, the health care, and then home loans.
Pay.
Yeah, home loans. Yeah, we're almost into real estate. Being
Yeah.
a home loan is a benefit that's attached to you as an individual. You have to meet the criteria. 6-year
What's the
contract,
criteria?
Employment. You just have to do one 6-year contract. So
Okay.
whether it's your first contract or reenlistment, and then you can use the VA home loan, which I'm not as well versed in it. I know a little bit
I
about
was gonna say,
Sure.
it. So when I talk
Yeah.
about what VA home loan is,
if you get if you get an honorable discharge after a 4-year investment, you can still
that's
do a
active duty.
but for as a guardsman, you have to do 6.
The benefits. So if you want to compare benefits, the benefits you would get minus the state tuition from an active service member that does 4 years, a guard member has to do 6-year contract,
Oh,
and you will get the same benefits.
well, yeah, 6
If
years is
you-
probably about 4 years or
One.
less. It's 1 year's
It's
worth.
like 367 days. Or
Okay,
something like that.
right? Because you're doing
Because it's 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year.
unless you do deploy for 12 months, and then boom,
Right.
knock it
But
out of
then
the park.
you're getting more time, but you're still serving less than 4 years.
Yeah,
It's just spread out to 6.
gotcha.
But I mean, those are all like, I mean, on top of everything else you spoke about, those benefits alone are a great reason to consider
Should-
joining.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also on on that VA home loan, it's not always known to people, but it's not like it's your first time you buy a house. It's not
No.
just available
Yeah.
for the first time.
Right.
I'm on my second VA loan.
Well, and you can have 2 VA loans open at
As long as it hits a certain cap.
certain cap, I think 760.
Right. The caveat to that is as we progress through the years,
Right.
those home prices get higher.
Oh, yeah.
So if you buy
Every year.
back in the day, it's like I bought, 3 $200,000 homes. Like now I can buy one.
You can assume a VA loan if
From-
you're VA qualified.
Right. If you're VA qualified, you can assume a VA loan from somebody that had one for that house,
Yeah.
which you could get your own anyway. Right.
That's,
Yeah, but if they have a 2.3% interest rate, and now we're at 5 or 6%
Oh.
interest rate,
Oh, so you could assume the
you
one that's
assume
already
their current
there.
interest rate and the remaining balance.
Did you guys know this?
yes, I do. I'm
It's
very
like you
well.
should be selling homes for people that are
Well,
military.
it's
Like
yeah,
everybody's
yes,
getting
it's not
7%.
It's not as easy as you would
Hope.
think that it
Oh.
would be. But
But
plug,
does it
if
exist?
you're interested in learning about it, let me know because I recently had an experience with one and
And did it work?
Yeah, it worked. It was doable.
What'd they get? What percentage?
I don't remember the percentage.
4,
It was lower than that.
3,
I think it was in the 2s.
2.
I think it was.
So it's
I think it was in
yeah.
the 2s.
I mean, if
But-
you know somebody that's struggling,
However,
Dot, dot, dot.
you can assume their loan, but you do have to make up for whatever the equity in their home is, or not equity in their home, but what they're selling their home for. So let's say they want to sell their home for $450,000. The remaining on their loan is $200,000. You have to come up with that $250,000. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, you have to come up with that.
Unless they just say, take over my
what
loan.
if they sell the home for the $250,000?
But if you assume the
You
loan,
can do
you're not
that.
buying the house
Right.
for the market rate.
Right,
of what they're selling.
No,
it
you're
for.
not.
You're
but
basically getting.
in
taking
most
You would kind of be getting
cases.
two
You just put it on
loans
the family.
then, right?
You just
Right.
put it on the
You kind of get two home loans at that point.
Well,
You're assuming
no,
one and having
no.
the other one for the rest.
So you get the assumption, and then you would take out some sort of other loan, and
Against-
it's not usually a mortgage because
Against the house.
that doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't typically work. But the people
do a
that
second mortgage.
we helped with did a HELOC. So they did a HELOC
what?
on a home equity line of credit.
Oh, thank you.
bathrooms too?
Thank you.
Oh, we like it.
Thank you for calling me out.
Yeah,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
that. Yeah.
He locked.
A
He
home.
locked what?
But I feel like that's a more well-known acronym.
In the real estate world, I'm
Did
sure.
you also know that if you default on a VA loan, it doesn't negate you getting a VA loan in the future.
I actually did not know that.
So you only have to pay back the amount of money that the VA loan invested in that property. Because the
Be
VA
able to
doesn't
do it
invest 100%.
Mm-hmm.
They only
Right.
invest a certain amount.
Right.
So let's say you had $400,000 house.
Mm-hmm.
The VA amount that was left on it that wasn't paid back was $10,000. You defaulted on the house. You only have to pay back the VA $10,000 to qualify for another VA home loan.
Nice.
And there's no waiting period.
So I am selling
That's
my
a good
home
perk.
in about
Yeah.
8 years.
Okay. Excellent.
I have a VA home loan
Yeah.
at 2.25.
Okay.
I'm moving to a house that is already paid off. Ergo, if I sell my home,
Where are you? You're not like leaving Oregon, are you?
I'm leaving Salem
That's okay.
Where are you going?
to Astoria
Ah,
Oh, really?
in 8 years.
okay.
It's 8 years.
That's gonna fly
Okay.
by.
Okay.
Yeah, it will. And in 8 years, you can come out and hang out all the time on the beach.
Maybe I'll buy her.
You'll have a
home.
beach house to come visit.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that means I'll have a
You're
house.
just throwing this at
I'm
us right
throwing.
now.
I'm letting you know 8 years early. You're welcome. So that means when it comes time to sell my house, I have a kind of an advantage
Right.
for not only myself but for another service member
Yeah.
who wants to buy a house at a lower APR, assuming because I have a 2.25 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So assuming that it's higher than 2.25, it would
Oh, it will be.
grateful.
Will be.
It would be very beneficial and if it goes lower than 2.25, rest assured I'll be refinancing.
Oh, absolutely.
So it'd be good to buy it from another service member at that time.
Well, and then
Yes.
yeah.
On another note, personally, like, what do you like to do yourself outside of work?
You want to build a knife sometime?
You know, it's funny you asked that because I had somebody approach me about that.
That's
we know
nice.
a guy.
Yeah, know a guy.
Oh, you guys
Yeah.
ever watch Forged in Fire?
I
He's
have
like, I think
seen it
he's-
I
before.
love that show.
I think he's
Season
6.
5 or
What?
something. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He's a winner.
Yeah, he's a winner of
What?
season 5 or
Yeah.
6.
I think it's season 6.
Well,
I'm
see,
sure
we go to the
watched it.
greeters way more than
Yeah,
you
we
do.
pay attention.
I've been going.
So did you go to his?
Ladies class.
No,
It was at
they have a ladies class.
Yeah.
it was
Ladies, kids,
I'm in.
parents and kids.
God, that'd be so
couples,
fun.
in K Forge.
And K4.
That's why I can't
NK
remember it because I don't
Forge.
know the in K part.
Never
Neat Kill Forge. So he hosted his own event for greeters at
When?
Northern Lights.
When was that?
That was last month.
Yeah, last one.
Yeah, probably wasn't.
I think it was. I'm like 95% sure it was in February. Yeah.
February.
You might get that R in there.
Yeah.
That might have been. Maybe that was Newport Seafood and Wine Festival
It's
weekend.
possible. It's
Maybe.
possible. There was a lot of Four Locos drank that weekend.
But
I feel
that's
like.
There was zero
And
Four
Top
Locos
Ramen.
drink that weekend.
Top.
No, it wasn't
It
Top
wasn't the
Ramen.
top. It was Middle
It-
Robin.
no,
Middle
it
Robin and
was-
Four Locos.
It was Cup O Noodles,
Cup O noodles.
That's way different.
and I ate it with a straw. And
I believe you.
Now I want to know more about eating noodles with a
Right.
straw.
Interesting. You fold an ass like chopsticks.
Like, yeah, like you get 2 straws and you chopstick it up, and then
no,
why don't they have chopsticks with holes down the center?
it's really funny.
And then ate the noodles.
Yeah, nice.
Is I could have just gone down to the lobby, grabbed a fork.
But it's so far.
This is so
Not
hard.
as much fun.
She stays at places with lobbies. I'm like motel.
Yeah. Bougie.
Bougie.
With her cup of noodles.
Okay. Besides
Cup of
making
noodles.
knives, which we might do next month,
Yes.
which is looking good. What else do you do for funsies?
I like to be active.
That's fun to do.
Oregon's great for that.
Yeah.
Salem's great for that.
When you say active, oh, sorry. You're
Hiking?
Paddleboarding, spending time on
Where do
the
you go
water.
paddleboarding at?
You can go turn
Wherever there's water.
Reservoir,
Okay.
Detroit Lake.
All right.
Ugh, Detroit's hard to paddleboard at, though.
Like,
No.
why?
Yeah.
Why?
Where at Detroit do you go?
The lake?
Thanks,
the
Nate.
national
You're
park.
welcome.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Parker.
Well, there's only one national park.
At Detroit Lake.
At Detroit.
There's lots of national parks.
Yes. Like they have different campsites, but the one national park on the main road is it's the best one.
The Flats?
It's across from the ranger station. Oh, clearly she hasn't been in a while.
I know that off like Blowout Road.
What makes it difficult for you to paddleboard at Detroit Lake?
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, I've never paddleboarded.
The motion of the ocean.
You stand on the board, right? And you with a paddle, you stand on the
So you
board.
don't have to stand.
You don't have to
You could
stand,
sit,
absolutely.
You could kneel, you could stand. You could lay down
You
and
can-
paddle if
yeah.
you wanted to.
That seems like it would be harder to paddle,
It would be, but it's
but you could do it.
possible.
Yeah.
You could use it as a kickboard, a giant kickboard, and just kick your feet.
look
That's great.
like an idiot.
You look like a huge idiot.
What's he doing out there? Is he drowning? No, he's on a board. Is he scared? He looks scared.
Maybe.
He looks very frightened.
Or I'll take a kayak out there. I take kayaks.
Kayaks would be
That'd be
better.
fun. Do you own a kayak?
I do.
Yeah. One of them Costco kayaks.
Ooh.
Those ones look good. I'm keep tempting to be like one of these days. I'm either going to buy one or try to win one in a raffle.
Sit in, sit on.
Sit in.
You
Kayaks
sit in a
are-
kayak.
What's
yeah.
a sit on
on.
kayak look like? Isn't that a sit on kayak just a
paddleboard?
paddleboard?
No, I mean yes and no. You would think so. But
Yeah.
Sit in kayak. You're actually in it. Legs are in it. Seated position.
Right.
Yeah.
A sit on kayak is thicker than a paddleboard,
Okay.
and it's got a slight like impression to it,
Oh.
to where actually just lay your
So
put your
You're
like,
all on
top
it,
of
but you're like
Yeah.
indented into it.
yeah. So you don't actually like
Huh.
put your feet in it, sit into it.
So if you're going to sit down on a paddleboard, you might as
And
well get
some
a
of them, some
sit
of them
on
have like
kayak.
seats that you attach to it.
Oh, can you go fishing?
Paddleboards
Yeah.
can do that too.
And some people like them better. I like to sit in.
I've done windsurfing. That's fun.
I like to sit in ones because I think they're more universal for Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Because I've been out when it's
Have you
raining.
done go underwater, get yourself out before?
No.
Like go
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Like capsize?
Right?
Right. But you know, like the ones that are like,
kayaks.
you're supposed to be able to like, oh, if you go underwater, you should be able to
Those
kick
are
yourself
shorter
out.
ones. No, I don't. More of a
Or you
casual
die.
kayak.
You have like two
That's why I like a
options.
paddleboard because you just fall off. You're not.
Why do
like-
you like falling off?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying I
It's a
like.
paddle.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
It's too hard.
Paddling,
It's too hard.
It's funner than
Oh, yeah. So what makes it hard at Detroit Lake?
Rude.
What makes it hard?
So I guess
Does the
it's
water
more
flow too
so
quick?
where it's more so where I went maybe at
Uh-huh.
Detroit Lake.
Well, there are a lot of motorized vehicles.
Is that
on
what
the water,
what makes
so
it
there's
hard
A lot of wake.
or difficult?
Yes.
Is because of other things out there? I'm just trying.
Yeah,
to, 'cause
yes.
I've never
so
done
you have like
paddleboarding.
boats
Like,
going
what's the
by,
difficult
and then there are
part
waves.
besides-
Which okay, I
Are you
will
a sitter,
say
a stander, a
I
croucher?
don't
Yeah.
stand often. I'm trying to get better at it,
Do you kneel?
but I'm sometimes.
I think I like the kneel. It's the best.
I heard
sometimes.
Army,
Yeah.
right?
I do like to.
Yeah, I mean Navy.
Yeah.
I usually
Just bend over.
And take it
sit.
like a man.
I'm just gonna say I usually just straddle it.
Yeah.
It's just
We're
easier.
talking about paddleboarding.
Yeah.
It's
We're talking
easier
about paddleboarding.
to. I know.
Oh. We're talking about firemen again. The so you straddle the whole board.
Yeah.
So how wide is the board?
It's like.
It's not that wide.
Okay, so it's like knees
like
hanging
a
off
surfboard.
kind of thing, right?
It's a
Yeah.
surfboard. It's just made out of different material.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. I
Is there
guess
a fin on the
it's-
bottom,
Hmm?
like a surfboard?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one that has one. I have one that's three.
Oh, is it harder to turn when there's three? Okay.
It's actually for me. I like it. It's easier to control when you have those fins on.
Have you done three fins?
Yeah, mine has like
without fins?
yes, and I feel like I'm just ugh, like
How's that go again?
There. Yeah.
exactly for control.
Fins there, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But mine are the removable ones, right?
Yeah, so-
Oh, removable fins.
Because most
Yeah.
they're a blow up. Your paddle boards are mostly blow up.
I was not picturing that at all.
Yeah. And
Like a banana boat.
They're like 6 inches thick. You know,
Yeah.
rubberized
Around?
material. No, thick.
Oh, okay.
And so then some of them come with their own little backpacks. Paddles are collapsible, So you just deflate
Oh.
everything, you pull off the fins. Store
So
it all in
I have a
back,
bunch of those
and then
little
go.
paddles that are collapsible because we go tubing down the Willamette,
Yes.
and you want to take your little paddle with you because sometimes you just got to get to the side, or go chase a child that's floating off.
Yeah.
But yeah, those paddles are nice. But I guess you could go down the
do it
Willamette
with
in
a
a paddleboard too.
And then you could strap things to the top and everything.
Nice.
So we'll strap a cord to the top
Right.
if you want to tow it.
Well, and so that's what we do with like tubing down the Willamette too. It's like, so we'll get
It's more
us
comfortable for
and some
tubing.
kids. Is it more? Well,
because it's long.
but here's the thing: if you go out with
Yeah.
like 8 to 12 people, and I'm going to count kids as people in this,
Okay.
Well,
they're like
sure.
small people ish.
Yeah. There's still people.
But you could put them all in a tube, and then we would get like straps, and we'd like click them all together, so you're like a big floating barge.
Yeah.
It's like Waterworld, but without all the pirates.
Waterworld.
Yeah. Oh wait, she may probably never seen Waterworld.
Kevin Costner.
Oh, okay. What?
It's the most expensive movie that was ever made,
I think it was the most expensive flop.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely not the most
Okay,
expensive movie ever made.
honest opinion. Did you guys like Waterworld or did you not like
For
it?
its time,
I would say I liked it, but then again, I was a child.
it was one of the first like
He's
post-apocalyptic
like, it
type
was cool.
movies of that era.
Right.
Now
with,
we have a bunch of
with great actors
that
in it.
and Mad Max.
But if I were to watch it again,
Mad Max.
I don't feel like, well, Mad Max, that's amazing movie.
What's his face?
Of course you did. Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner?
Okay, guys, are we going paddleboarding?
I'm always down to paddleboard.
Okay, next sunny day, we're going paddleboarding.
The next sunny day.
That could be like in 5
Okay.
minutes.
All right.
Probably
Okay,
not.
well, get right. I hope you brought your paddleboard.
I hope you brought enough for everyone.
No,
Mine are in my trunk.
mine are in Dallas. Storage.
Mine don't exist.
Are they actually in your trunk?
Actually, they were, and I just took them out yesterday.
So actually, you're a liar.
I swear.
By the moon and the stars in the sky.
And I swear.
There you go.
Sorry.
I like to go to the gym. I like
Jim,
to
okay.
learn. I like new experiences.
Ooh, you should get one of those bachelor's degrees. For
Oh,
like
so
in the
what do you
learn.
want to get your degree in?
Or do you care? Or do you just
I
want
don't
to?
really care.
Yeah.
Really?
Just got one of those last
I have a
month.
my parents don't have a degree.
Okay.
My sister and brother did not have a degree. My daughter's
Samesies.
probably going to get a degree,
Mhm.
but I would like to have a degree.
Okay.
Even associates, if not a bachelor's.
Well, you should start with the associates and then work your way towards bachelor's.
You know, I think I might have a credit. So another fun
I was
fact
going to say,
is your military service basic and AIT,
Yeah.
which is advanced individual training.
Yep.
For those people that don't know.
Thank you.
When you go to a college to look at starting school, you meet with the veteran service rep, and they have what's called a military service transcript. So anything
Mm-hmm.
you've done in the military can be equited to college credit.
can be. A lot of the,
Yeah.
physical
That's
training,
neat.
Some
some of the
colleges give you more
special
credits,
schools that you went
some will
to.
give you less, but you will still come out with credit.
Oh, that's
Air
cool.
Force has their own college, so in Air Force, I have 2 associate's degrees through the
Mhm.
Air Force.
Mhm.
A lot of those degrees go through, but you need to take other classes like speech or English, math classes, and then those goes towards the community college of the Air Force, and you get a degree from that.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if other branches could technically submit in there and get that as being part of a DoD. That would be pretty cool.
So if someone wants to go into like engineering or medical or dental or whatever,
Yeah, so
are there?
medical in particular, because I could speak on that, because I've held 3 military occupation specialties, or MLSs,
Oh,
which is what your jobs are.
and in the
okay.
Air Force, it's an AFSC,
it's for.
Air Force Specialty Code.
Okay.
And your 68 whiskey, which was a lot of people like, is your combat.
That's a
Did you
W.
say 68 whiskey?
That means
So
W.
It used to be,
That means W.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
it used to be
It's not as cool as 69
combat
whiskey.
medic was the designator, and now it's a healthcare specialist, because you could fill one of 2 roles. You can either be attached to a unit as a combat medic
Okay.
to provide support should there be any injuries due to combat, or you can be attached to a basic aid station, BAS, and provide support in like a hospital type setting as an EMT.
Okay.
So
And you were one of
first-
those.
right. The first phase of that training, there's 3 phases. The first phase is your NREMT certification.
You're what?
NREMT.
NREMT.
National
Well, you know what
Registered
EMT is.
Emergency
I know what
Medical
EMT is.
Technician.
Yeah.
So it's nationally registered. The NR is for national registered.
Okay.
So anybody that gets a EMT basic, there's also intermediate and paramedic. They don't usually say like EMT basic. Like if you're an EMT, they'll just say EMT.
Okay.
Intermediate, paramedic. They don't use the EMT portion for it. But everybody has to get nationally registered. They go through
Got
that
it.
course.
How do you
Military's
get
gonna-
nationally registered?
They
You
put
could go
you
to
on a list.
Shemeketa. You go to Shemeketa and get nationally registered.
They give you
Go
a
to
number.
A local fire department and get nationally
Hey,
registered.
you have to stop.
But for the military,
You're
their
assigned a program.
6-step process is your first step is EMT. Do that course.
Okay.
You pass that course, you're nationally registered.
Oh, okay.
Then you go through an Army medical or an Army medicine portion because
Yeah.
as an EMT, while you're
Which is like Band-Aids.
performing, no,
Which is like what?
Band-Aids.
big Band-Aids.
Band-Aids. Big Band-Aids.
Bandage,
for big
bandages.
Ace bandages,
What you could
if
do
you
like
will.
more
Bandages.
evasive procedures, tracheotomies, needle decompressions, those type of things that you can't perform as an EMT basic, but you can perform as an Army medic while you're in uniform.
So were you an Army medic?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then you do tactical field care, and that's where you combine the first two in a high-stress tactical environment, performing all the steps to standard.
Wow.
And you
So
have
if
to,
you
you have
had
to fall
to,
something. Then they yell,
like-
medic! And you got to go do the
Like,
thing.
if you had to today, could you perform a tracheotomy?
Let's do this.
Okay.
Allie, you ready to get your voice fixed?
God.
To make it sound real good.
That sounds fine.
No, that's separate.
That'll be later.
Additional items still separate.
Yeah. Oh, great.
All right. So, just to
So
kind
then, to touch
yeah,
back on that,
yes,
once you
yes.
come back,
Never
if
come back.
you are trying to be in a paramedic program,
yes.
you submit your certifications to Shemeketa or whatever program, and you get credit for that, so you don't have to take those steps in college.
Oh,
So that's part of that Army
okay.
training they can
Okay.
transition into.
What kind of training? Army training, sir. That's another good
Okay,
Where I was going with that.
that's
Stripes.
good to know. That's actually really good
Stripes.
to know.
Oh, Stripes was a
Um,
movie about the Army with Bill Murray.
So I'm starting to
John
lose my
Candy.
voice now. So
Oh,
No,
I know I'm
whatchamacallit,
talking
the
too
candy bar.
much.
nah,
Um,
Chocolate one.
No.
no.
Okay. Well, if someone hears this and they're like, "Oh, that sounds really interesting," I would
Yeah.
tracheotomy.
That
Puff,
last-
puff, give.
that last one-
Tracheotomy.
Puff, puff, give. Check it. Well, there we go.
You're not supposed to squeeze this wrong.
Don't squeeze the throat. Live.
I didn't see
Live.
this right. Pushed her head up
Yeah.
Oh,
so I could get access to
because I can stab you with this straw. You'll be.
Someone give me a
That I ate
straw.
my ramen noodles with.
Someone give me a
Make it a
pen.
bendy straw so I can get it in there.
Okay.
I got
Anyway.
you.
Okay. So someone sees this and says, "I'm really interested. How do they get a hold of you?"
It's the Army recruiting. They'll get a hold of you. No, come in.
Try.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, first off, you're gonna have. First off, you need to take a look at yourself and be like, "Am I qualified?"
No, I'll take a look at it.
All right.
Yeah.
You'll let them
It
know.
really doesn't matter your looks.
No, I don't mean physically look at yourself. Look about your life choices. You need to look at your life choices.
I'm sorry, you're a 5.
Yeah.
We only take the 7s.
Yeah.
back when you're
It's
seven.
like, do you want to come back after you get your hair done and your nails did? Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. That's true. We'll take care of your hair. Have no
Okay.
fear.
But
Do you want me to give out my contact information?
well,
You should. Do you
whatever
wanna
you're
recruit more?
comfortable with.
My phone number is 503-383-5413.
Can you text that number?
You can text it or call it.
Send gifts.
Yeah, send it to somebody else.
All
Send
right.
gifts.
Send gifts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dick pics.
Email.
No.
That'll go to Nate.
Okay.
That'll go to Nate.
All right.
Appreciate that.
I'll send my number out later.
Or you can reach out to Katie or Nate or Allie, and they have. Email's kind of long.
I'd cut that out,
These
please.
days, so
Do you have a personalized email for that, so it specifically goes to you, or do you have a specific
yes,
one
our email.
for this is the email for the recruiter's office that you and other recruiters have?
No,
Because
we're all, even if we work in the same office, we're all our own individual.
right, okay,
So there's no joint.
And they can find you on Facebook, right?
Yes, I do have a Facebook.
Which
You
is
got the book?
what?
Charles Parker.
Charles Parker.
you got the gram.
No.
Yeah.
got the book?
Yeah, we'll
You got
have
the
it.
top?
We'll have all his
No,
contact
top's
info
way-
listed below.
We'll
They're
see.
gonna ban it.
They're not going to ban it. It's I don't buy that for
Are
$1.
you on any other social media?
Just the book.
Book. All
We also
right.
have what's called Guard for a Day.
Okay.
GFAD for the acronym. If you want to
GFAD.
experience what a drill weekend is prior to basic training, then
I should not
we
do
run you
that.
through all the training. That
Can I wear
happens.
these there?
You can wear whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you, but you might regret your decision later.
Yeah, right.
It's okay. When I was in Newport, I wore these at Newport
Uh-huh.
when I went out after a full day
Uh-huh.
Yes.
at the
Yeah.
festival.
Yeah.
Guess what I did?
You
rolled your ankle.
I fell down the stairs.
Of course you did.
Oh, after drinking how much wine?
Yeah.
12 hours of
And how many
wine.
Four
Did you
Locos?
spill your noodles?
0. No, this was before.
Do you
I had-
remember how many Four Locos you had?
Yeah.
I had 0 Four Locos.
That's how many she remembers having.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've never in my life had a Four Loco.
We'll fix that.
Loco.
Son of a gun, that reminds me, I need to
Store
bring
right
in some
across the
Awamore for us to
Store right
drink
across
next
the
time.
street.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
could get you some full local right
I would rather not.
Yeah, I would rather not have it in
Once.
here either.
I won't.
Gotta try it once.
I won't.
Yeah.
I won't.
Well, not
You
quite
remember,
yet.
once you go Four Loco, you never go back to Four
Yeah.
Loco.
But that was my sign that it was time to go back to the hotel and eat my.
Whatever it is.
Noodles,
Yeah,
whatever, yeah.
your all
I
your
was like,
drink,
all right,
all your drunks.
taxi, please.
Yeah. Taxi. Well, groovy.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for being here today.
Drinking some wine with
Cheers.
us
Yes.
and
Reminds me of
Cheers.
drunken
Cheers.
history.
Ollie's kombucha.
right? Well, we're not slurring yet. See, what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
need to do is we need to go for like 2 hours of just straight up drinking, and then we hit record.
Whoa,
Or we
2
could just do,
hours.
like,
Ooh.
4 shots in a row, and then we can start.
Maybe for our 1-year anniversary podcast, we'll just like do shots, and then we'll start at the beginning. We record an hour. You do 4 shots at the beginning,
That's what I'm saying.
and I'm picking up what you're putting down, and then plus you have drinks to drink the entire time.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah,
That's,
I'm
what
right.
they do.
so
That's what
much.
they do in drunk history.
Okay, this is not drunk
But
history,
it could be.
But it could be.
but it's not.
Okay.
Next episode.
Yeah.
This is
Next
hold
episode.
my wine, not hold my 4
I'm gonna hold my
glasses of
wine after-
shots.
Hold the shots and put them down after. We're holding the wine.
So what are we going to call it? Take my shots and put it down after?
Take
For the
5 shots and put them down.
yeah. I pick things up. I put them down.
He is a phenomenal individual, by the way. Arnold.
Who?
Mr.
Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger.
He was the president of California.
He's an interesting person.
Of course.
And he came from Austria.
Have you ever? He is from Austria.
He had to go to acting, or he had to go to like speech classes and acting classes.
And neither of them
Mr.
took.
Olympia.
And neither of them
He
took.
worked out for hours.
Gotcha.
Cheers.
Smash that like and subscribe. And thanks for having us. Try some Para wine.
Yes,
You can get it at many different places. You can get so much of it down here.
Old Zen has a really good collection of wines if you don't want party.
Amazing.
Events all the time.
Hey. And if you want mead,
The mead's delicious
best,
too.
best.
If you're not doing anything with your life, and even if you are, check out the Oregon National Guard. You can.
Absolutely.
It's part-time service.
It's part-time service, great
Pretty cool.
benefits.
Weekend a month.
And the benefits outweigh everything too. I mean, like
Really
you can
do.
spend 2 days a month, 2 weeks a year, and that's probably excessive part of it, and still get so many benefits between education, home loans, which is imperative right now with getting a home loan with the potential of lower APR, like you just discussed, getting somebody else that already has military VA loan and taking over for that. Like I didn't even know that. Like that is at this APR market right now. That is huge.
It's huge.
That is huge
So
at this
come
market.
talk to us. We'll connect you with a great local lender
And
who can
us
explain
is
it better.
Haven Rose Real
Haven
Estate.
Rose.
Haven Rose.
If you don't remember anything, just remember Haven and Rose.